I'm pulling up my notes.
Anyways.
I used to always worry about what people thought of me and would try so hard to live by society's standards. Then I realized that I was created to be different, and regardless of what I did, I would never fit in. So I decided to follow my dreams instead. Join me on this journey as I grow in my faith, go through the ups and downs of pharmacy school, and most importantly, being God's masterpiece.
Hey everyone, so in today's video I have a familiar guest with me.
Hey y'all, it's Kelita. Yeah.
So she's pretty much going to talk about some of the interviews that she's had so far, and she's also going to talk about how she got into medical school, and she'll provide some tips and tricks to help y'all out.
I'm gonna try my best, y'all, so might be a long video, so buckle your seatbelt.
Buckle your seatbelt. Yeah, I got my smoothie.
Get ready.
That she made me.
Strawberry banana. All my milk is vegan.
I thought you put blueberries in there.
Oh, I forgot.
Did you?
I
you didn't put them in there?
I didn't. I forgot. No. I feel like you told me you wanted basic strawberry banana.
And then I said you can put blueberries in there.
Oh, nah, I didn't. It's still good though. So first thing I want to talk about is my interview experience, and then I'll try to get into how I got to that part of my medical school application journey. So as Danisha mentioned, at this point I've done 4 interviews, and I have one coming up next month. And so far I've gotten into 1 school. The other 3 I haven't heard back from yet. So because they've been like within the last 3 or 4 weeks, so it's still a little bit early. So just to wrap up on how it actually went, so it was a 1-to-1 interview. They had 2 faculty members interview us. There were about 6 of us, 1 that came in the morning and 5 that was in the afternoon. And you'll find different numbers of people for each school, because the school prior to that there was upwards of 20 people. So it was a drastic difference from 20 something people and then these 6 people. So it can really vary your experience during the interview day. So typically during the interview day at some point they give you a tour, and the tour again differs because this one was more of a tour of the hospital itself. And while she was giving us a tour of the hospital, we also saw the simulation center, which you'll hear about once you start touring schools and once you eventually attend a medical school. The simulation center is where they have these what they call sim dolls, which is basically a doll that they use to practice clinical skills like intubation and like things of that nature. They were practicing on the doll, so they showed us that, and we got to peek in the anatomy lab, I think, or am I mixing up schools? Most schools will show you that, the anatomy lab and the library. They'll show you sometimes the fitness center if you're interested, the student centers, the cafeteria. They'll show you the different buildings like the lecture halls. This last school that I went to, unfortunately we didn't get a lot of that, which was kind of disappointing. We got someone that seemed like they were part of the volunteer organization of the hospital, because she had on a volunteer jacket. She was an older woman, and she kind of just walked us around the hospital. So I really was looking forward to more of the academic side. So unfortunately I didn't experience that, but the interview experience overall was very positive. I think that I was able to convey my personality, who I am as an individual, and my goals in terms of what type of doctor I want to be, in terms of like helping out my community, and my interest. This school's interviews was actually very laid back. They asked a lot of non-medical and non-academic related questions. Like literally the first one asked me like what type of things do you like to do on your free time. He asked me like who's your favorite comedian. And the other one asked me like if you can meet someone if you could spend a day with one person, past, present, who would it be? Of course I said Michelle Obama, but it was just like type of question that was very like personal level, where like they're trying to get to know you rather than saying, okay, does this person know about the, I don't know, it wasn't like strict, like
ribonucleic acid, like
yeah.
what is that?
overall, so I've had 2 traditional style interviews. They were both open file, meaning that by the time that I got to them, they had already read through my entire application. They knew who I was, they know what school I went to, they know my grades, MCAT, things of that nature. Some schools will have a closed file where like literally you go in there and they know as much about you as you know about them. I mean, maybe they know, okay, she's an applicant and you just know this, some random faculty member, but you guys are essentially meeting each other, and some schools do that on purpose, so that it's kind of a non-biased view, and we're just going off of who you presented in front of us today in this one interview, not like this person's experience, grades, numbers, etc. So I had 2 of those interviews and 2 MMIs, which are short for multi-mini interviews, and that format has been recently adopted in the last, probably, I would say in the last decade. It's not like too old, so schools are actively, more schools are taking on that format. Prior to you going in, they'll kind of explain the process, so each school might be different. Some might have more scenario based, where it's like, okay, John did this, John said that, and you are Sam in this situation, what would you tell John? Some are more on open-ended situation, and some are more scenario based, where it's like you're in this particular situation right now, and like what would you do? And some might even have actors. It's like one of my interviews, I had an actor where I walked in and she was portraying a role. She was supposed to be a distraught person, and I had to come in with my advice and my feelings, like my opinion, and well, I kind of just had to go and see and show them what I would do in that situation. Can you relate to this person on a level that makes them feel like you're listening, exactly, that you actually are taking in the information that you're that you're receiving, and actually responding to that on a personal level? Like, are you capable of doing that? Are you capable to relating to a human being that's different from you, or that's going through an emotional situation right now? So some schools kind of evaluate that more, where some are more just like, okay, let's see how she can think on her feet. Like, let's see what's her opinion on this. You'll go to the room, and then they'll actually tell you like when to read the prompt, and then you read it, and you have a certain allotted time, where it might be 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then you knock on a door, and each door is a different person, and then you ask them questions. Usually it's not a lot of application-based questions, like questions that relate to you personally. It's just the scenario, and then they might have follow-up questions, so be prepared to continue. It's not just that one question and you answer it and then you walk out. Like, usually there's follow-up questions to see, okay, what about this? But what if this happened? But okay, but what about this situation? How would that change your opinion, or how would that change your answer, or how would that change your approach to this particular person? From my perspective, I think that I had a positive experience for each school.
They can't accept everyone, so yeah. It's like, even if you feel like you did great, like, just like if you like don't get in, that doesn't mean that you didn't have a great interview. Because like from my experience, I had a great interview at one of the colleges, the only other college I applied to, and I got rejected. Actually, they didn't even like tell me anything. They waitlisted me.
Those are called silent rejections. And it's actually a thing. Silent rejections is where a school ghosts you. If you guys know what ghost means, everyone knows what that means. Like, you like literally put your heart out there. They even like, you know, like pull you in a little bit, and you know, you have energy for you. Come. And then you get your heart all invested into the school. You're like, oh, you know, like you could imagine yourself there. and then they look at your application and they were like, I cool. And then they just slowly slide to the side, like, and then that's it. Accept or reject. Just let me know which one. That's not nice. When you're approached with new evidence, or like something that's contrary to what you just said, how can you then come back and say, okay, I understand that perspective. However, you know, it's not about, okay, if she said yes, then she's wrong, and then I don't want to hear anything else. About she said yes, okay, I may not agree, but let's see why she said yes. Sometimes you cannot understand those things as much with just a traditional interview.
Which is why she rocked her MMI interviews, because like, you hear those responses?
I'm not gonna say all that, but you know,
no, because a lot of people don't even, like, that's just like, not every human even possesses that ability of being able to listen to what someone else has to say. And I feel like that's what distinguishes like mediocre doctors to really good doctors. You know, yes, you can have the brains, but if you don't even have that bedside manner, then it's just like, it goes useless.
Like, literally sometimes there's websites that just have a bunch of typical or common or frequently asked interview questions. And just going through those, and especially the basic ones, like why do you want to be a doctor? Why do you want to go to the school? And not why do you want to go to the school, that you need to know that, because that's something that really stands out when it's very specific. Like, I like this specific program. I like the way that this curriculum set up. I like the fact that you have students take the step 1 and the third year rather than at the end of 2 years, like most schools. I think that can be very beneficial to my career. Then you know that you like them, especially like they're like, oh, you know, she does like this about us. Like, she looked us up. Like, I'm taking it personally that she really wants to be here. So that's important. If you have a health advisor at your school, if you have a mentor that's been through that, who's in the career field, all these different resources. Again, it can just be a friend where you like literally say, can you ask some questions, and you could judge my eye contact. You can judge how much time to say how much time to say like. Do you feel like I answered a question? Do you feel like I went off on a tangent? Like, things like that you don't have to be a professional to see. You can also record yourself. Record yourself on a cell phone. Record yourself answering questions, because sometimes you can see these like little quirks that you have that you didn't realize that you have. Like, wow, sometimes I tend to look up to the side every time I'm thinking about something. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Even though they say there's no such thing as a dumb question, don't ask questions that you can easily find on the website. So try to ask smart questions, questions that actually show, okay, she's really invested in us. And also, if you can, write thank you emails or follow-up emails afterwards, because that also shows that you were thinking about them.
And you can start with preparing for the MCAT.
Because I was 3 years old. Okay. So I took the MCAT technically 2 years prior to actually applying to school. Wait, no, not 2 years.
Didn't you take it
in 2016?
You took it 2016 or 2017?
Now my math is off. When did I take it? Yeah, I took it.
You took it 2016?
No, I didn't.
Oh wait,
I started studying for it in 2016, but I didn't take it until the fall of 2017.
Yeah, fall 2017.
Okay, so so I took the MCAT September of 2017. I received a 504. I'm gonna be straight up. Some people are like, I want to tell my score. That's what I got. I'm gonna tell you. I say, I know, don't ask. I told y'all, 504. I was probably like a 60 something percentile. I think maybe 64, 67. So not the worst score in the entire world, but obviously not the best and not what I wanted personally. I wanted like probably like a 508 or a 510. Like, that's where my comfort level was, and that's what, you know, that's what I felt like I needed to get to succeed in my application cycle. So I got that score, and I contemplated, was I going to take it over again? And I just started studying for it, but I didn't end up actually taking it because I started to feel more comfortable with my original score. And I felt as if I didn't want to risk retaking it and not doing like drastically better than I did the first time. Like, I didn't want to take it again and I got like 2 points higher, because I didn't feel as if that would show that much positively on my application itself. Like, okay, she took it twice only to get 2 points higher, you know. So ultimately I decided to not actually take it again. Definitely like set a plan. So prior to even open up an MCAT book, you need to know, okay, am I going to study for a 6-month period, a 4-month period, a 3-month period? Like, you need to know, what is your plan? What month am I going to take it? And that kind of goes into like, you know, definitely try to register for the test as early as you can, because that will put things like, that'll make it more concrete. Because once you have that date set, you can't say, oh, you know, I can always take it in June, and then you know, it gets closer, you know, I'll just take it in July, you know. So when you have that date set, that makes you sit up straight in your chair. That makes you say, okay, I need to get this, I need to get it together, I need to start studying, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Sometimes seats, they get taken really quick, so you think, okay, that's 2 months in advance, of course there'll be seats. Sometimes there's not seats. Sometimes that happens to be a month where there's a lot of people taking tests, so seats are taken up very rapidly. So by the time that you try to register, they're like, joke's on you, because there's no seats. So you might have to go all the way to, some people travel to a different state just to take it at a certain time. And if you don't want to go through all of that, and you want to be able to roll out of bed and take a train 2 stops to your test destination, or drive for 15 minutes, if you want that luxury, make sure that you make it a priority to register for as soon as possible, so that you can, you know, so you're able to do that. I will also just mention like making a schedule, and making a schedule is more like specifically like, okay, I'm going to study so-and-so this day, I'm going to study this chapter, you know, these chapters this week, so that you already have a structured plan for how you're going to address each topic. Take a lot of practice tests, a lot of practice exams, because you think, okay, I know all there is to know about hexanes and about oxy, I don't know, all these different chemicals, or I know all this about circuits and physics and about vectors and yada yada. But when you see the way in which they address these topics and the way that they ask these questions, especially, you know, cars, especially, that's a topic you really need to do a lot of practice, because each batch is different. But being able to like take a lot of practice tests, especially in practice like environments, like, so it's quiet, there's like literally a desk and a chair, you're sitting up straight on the computer and you're taking the test, like not laying in bed, but like while you're listening to music, or I'm gonna just take this test real quick, like not like taking it when you're like have the TV in the background, when you have a lot of people around you. Take it in an environment that, you know, like maybe the first one or two you can do it like that because you're still trying to get the gist of the test, but especially as you're leading up to your actual testing date, make sure that you know, okay, when I'm able to sit and take this test, this is how I'm going to take it, and this is similar to what I'll actually perform, to how I'll actually perform. And lastly, I would just say is to always like try to utilize different resources. There's tons of MCAT books. Likely you'll choose a company and stick with it. I use Kaplan, which I didn't like that much. Well, okay, I did like it, but I think once I saw the exam crackers books, I like those more.
Yeah, Kaplan, I felt like when studying for like even like the SAT and PCAT, it teaches how the test is set up. It teaches you how to take the test, but it doesn't really teach content well. And that's something that I needed to revisit, obviously. So I think that you should have a book that teaches you content. You can utilize Kaplan to learn how to like use those little tricks to, you know, master the exam. Yeah. But for content, something else.
Yeah, and like people have different perspectives. Some people love Princeton Review.
Yes, I love
some
Princeton
people,
Review.
you know, actually prefer Kaplan. And there's other companies that I can't think of right now, but there's a lot. I guess it depends on what kind of learner you are, but I like to like look at flashcards. There's sometimes you'll go on the internet and there's like flashcards available. You don't have to even make them. Like you can Google MCAT flashcards and like literally you'll find them on Quizlet. And there's an Anki. There's one called Anki. Sometimes you can even on your phone download an app. I applied for like my primary applications. Those applications that go out to every school. I applied to 25. It costs a pretty penny. I ain't gotta like that, so it costs a lot. Like $1,000. It costs a lot. But yeah, so I did that. That was my 25 school. Actually 26, because I added one at the end because they were like, apply to this school. I was like, all right. So I applied. So that was technically it was 26 schools. And then for secondaries that I actually finished, I finished 15. So that was 10 schools that took my money, kept my coin.
11.
Yeah, 11 schools that kept my coin, and I didn't even take the time to do their secondary. You think they care? They don't care. They got thousands more applicants, and then they still get their money too. So that was money that I spent that I didn't invest wisely, because I was like literally I'm gonna cast a wide net. But once it came down to actually doing the secondaries, it was like difficult because I was working full time. I was trying to keep up with my fitness, trying to have a life, because I was done with MCAT. I was like, oh, I'm free, so I was trying to do that. I was traveling, like, I was trying to live my life. So that on top of doing all these secondaries, like it was very difficult, because you had to be a great manager of time, which at the time I was not, which low-key I still am not, but hopefully by the time I get to school I'll get it together. She not procrastinating. I not procrastinate, and now you know I procrastinate. So
hold her accountable, y'all.
Hold me accountable. So I actually only completed 15. So at this point I heard back from 6. One was straight up rejection. And guess what school that was? The one that I added on as my 26 school. Sometimes you just know, you know, what you should and shouldn't do, but you're like, you know, I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, so that was the last school that I added on, and that was the first one that told me no. It's okay. I've healed from that. I'm not even going to go into that. I've healed. So, and then the other 5 schools I've heard from was the 5 interviews, 4 in which I've done already, 1 that's coming up, and then the 1 school that I got into already. So, you know, at this point, I'm just, you know, waiting to see if I get more interviews. I'm preparing for the one that I have in about 2 weeks or so. I know Danicia has primarily a pharmacy-oriented audience, but if you are more interested in like anything that's related to what I just said, or like anything in my medical school journey, please feel free to ask me, I guess, through her, and I'll try to address them the best way that I can.
Or maybe we should encourage Kelita to start a YouTube channel. How'd your voice crack?
I'm thinking about it. Listen, you guys just see all the stuff that Danisha does in the background. It's like 3 different lights here, a microphone up here, camera. Like, this is a lot. Like,
it doesn't have to be like that. This is Nesquik.
Say hi to Nesquik.
Why are you looking down? This is not Bird Box. Yeah,
but you know what?
Rowdy.
I'm gonna think of that as playful biting, because he doesn't actually bite me. He more like rests his teeth on my finger.
He bit me. He bit me before.
He didn't bite you. Okay, I'm gonna just put him down now.
Exactly. You can comment, and she's all over my YouTube channel, so she will see the comment and she'll respond. Y'all already know the deal. You can comment below, or you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. So go out, be kind, be caring, be loving, and as always,
be his masterpiece.
Bye, y'all.